too, man. Hey, I told him the other night when we was here that we left you and Eric Baylor in charge as a designated survivor. Because all the admin, everybody was out here for the character count thing. I was like, just let everybody know. We got our designated survivor. You got this, Brian. You got to have it when we watch the show. So I do know what you're talking about. Pretty good show. Yeah. Actually pretty good. I like it. Yeah. It was something legit with the kids. I don't remember what it was. Oh, this next survivor? No, I'm talking about me. Oh, here. Yeah, I was thinking that. There was something. I don't remember what.
Hey, sorry. Sure. I didn't realize you guys were still doing this.
We had an optional assignment. It was either this or do like a research pod.
Oh gosh, do this. This is much easier. What is today's 28th, right? There you go.
Thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome. I'm so happy that you guys are doing it. I was just sitting here thinking that we didn't do it anymore, and I thought about maybe fussing about it tonight. So never mind. Can you imagine? Yeah.
A lot more of our classmates.
Yep. No, this is fine. This is great. I'm glad y'all are here. We'll try not to bore you. I think it's going to be a quick meeting. Of course, every time I think that or say it, so don't hold me to it. There you go. Perfect. This is an easy grade, coming here and just sitting, listening. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I decided not to write you a personal note. Yep. Thank y'all. Thank you for coming. It's all government here at TA.
Oh, somebody got me a laptop. Thank God. I like these TA seats here. Is this me? I hope it is. You okay? You drinking smoothies at least? What do you have? Like a retainer or? Oh, I see. You're talking so well with them. I have one. Like I did like an overnight Invisalign system years ago, and so I sound terrible. Like if I have them in my mouth, like I cannot talk. Cannot talk. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have. I didn't know you even had them in. So good job.
It's red. It's green on.
I don't know.
Testing. Green's on.
Good evening. We're going to go ahead and get started. This board met earlier this evening to work in closed session, so we're now ready for open session. I'd like to welcome you here tonight for our April 28th, 2025 school board meeting, and we will begin with a moment of silence. Thank you. Next, we'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. The first thing on our agenda tonight is something called the Inspire Award. The Inspire Award was created for RCPS stakeholders to recognize a teacher or staff member who has impacted their life, inspired their learning, or made a distinct impression upon their child. Nominations are accepted from students, parents, student teachers, classroom volunteers, and community members. The RCPS Inspire Award is made possible with financial support from the Rockingham Education Foundation and DuPont Community Credit Union. And we have 3 different Inspire Awards tonight, so we'll call you up one at a time. If Brianna Hernandez, who is presenting to Miss Joni Lamb, could come forward. You'll be first.
For the past 4 years, Miss Lamb has been my FCCLA advisor and family and consumer science teacher. She has this incredible ability to see potential where others might not, gently nudging you out of your comfort zone and inspiring you to reach higher. I'll never forget the countless early mornings spent making pork barbecue sandwiches with Mr. Fitzgerald, the hours dedicated to preparing us for state and national conferences, and the long nights at the Rockingham County food booth, all so we could have the ultimate leadership experience. Miss Lamb, your enthusiasm and love for what you do is truly contagious, a constant and joyful encouragement that makes you the kind of teacher I aspire to be. You embody the FCCLA model, facing the future with warm courage and high hope. And I know you'll continue to open new horizons for countless students. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your unwavering dedication and the immeasurable impact you've had on our community. Thank you.
No, unless you would like to.
Well, I'll just say thank you, Brianna, and, okay, see, I can't speak. Teaching obviously doesn't pay maybe the most in accolades and income, but definitely in those intangible rewards, and so I'm very honored, obviously.
Next up, Luke Urso, a student, is presenting to Mr. Tim Mumbauer.
I think Mr. Mumbauer deserves this award because if you ask him to, he'll play a board game with you, a card game, puzzle, anything you ask him to, really. If you're not into anything like that, you can strike up a conversation with him as he's extremely easy to talk to. He's also just generally an awesome person to be around. He's extremely kind and cares about what you're talking to him about, whether it be books, cars, gardening, or life in general. He's willing to talk about anything with anyone, and I think that's an amazing quality to have. If he doesn't know much about what you're talking to him about, then he'll ask you questions and try to learn more about it as you talk.
And our last one tonight is Maggie Ola, presenting to Mr. Andrew Eberly.
I joined Honors Physics on the last day of the add drop period, and I was less than thrilled, as I would have told you I was not a physics person. However, over this year, I would say I've been converted, and I now look forward to physics class, which is truly an accomplishment. Instead of teaching from a textbook, Mr. Eberly is truly passionate about physics. He makes sure to derive each formula he gives us and makes connections between physics and the real world. He also takes the time to connect the topics he teaches to other classes I'm currently taking, including calculus and chemistry. No matter how many questions I ask or how obvious the answer may seem, Mr. Eberly finds the time to answer each one and is invested in my curiosity. In his class, he has held me accountable for my own learning and success, which is something I've come to appreciate. On top of this, I was given accommodations last school year, and since joining Mr. Eberly's class, he's encouraged me to utilize them, take an extra time to explain topics to me that I've struggled with, and help me develop study strategies that work for me. Mr. Eberly truly has made a positive impact on my and many of his students' lives. So, thank you.
Thank you to the students who presented those tonight. Those are some of the board members. We love those, and we think it highlights one of the best things about our county, and that's that our teachers are really great at building relationships. So thank you for sharing the Inspire Award and nominating those special people in your life. Next up on our agenda are public comments, and we have 0 public comments for this evening, so we'll move on to the next thing on our list, which is our consent agenda. So board members, there's a number of items listed there for you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda for tonight?
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Laura. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Cross. Any discussion, board members? Okay, all those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed say no. Motion passes 5-0. And that brings us to 2 more action items. The first up, which is our CTE Local Perkins Plan that Ms. Carrie Gray is coming back to us, I guess, to answer some questions if we have any.
Sure. So last meeting, I brought forth the Perkins local plan for next school year. I'm happy to answer any questions, and that's coming before you as an action item this evening.
Chair Hurst and board members, I recommend approval of the CTE Perkins local plan for the 2025-2026 as presented by Carrie Gray, Supervisor of Career and Technical Education, on April 14th, 2025.
Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. Board members, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Cave. How about a second?
Second.
We'll send that to Mr. Cross. Thank you. Any discussion or questions for Ms. Gray? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say yes. Yes. All those opposed say no. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Gray.
Thank you.
The next action item up tonight is our RCPS Special Education Annual Plan presented by Mr. Chris Bryant.
Good evening. Chair Hurst, members of the board, Dr. Shiflett. I do have an action item tonight. It is our annual special education plan for 25-26. I want to thank you for the personnel and programmatic approvals we've already received. We've been able to interview the past 2 weeks to fill some of the positions, and it's going to increase the school-based support for our students, our teachers, and our principals. Tonight's approval would ensure the funding is there to continue our special education roadmap we've talked about for the future. So I am requesting approval for the 25-26 special education plan as proposed at the April 14, 2025 school board meeting. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. We'll go to Dr. Shiflett first.
Chair Hurst and board members, I recommend approval of the Special Education Annual Plan, Part B, flow-through application for the 2025-2026 as presented by Chris Bryant, Director of Pupil Personnel Services, on April 14th, 2025.
Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. Board members, do I hear a motion to approve?
I move to follow the superintendent's recommendation to approve the Special Education Annual Plan / Part B flow-through application for 2025-2026 as presented by Chris Bryant.
Thank you, Ms. Laura. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Burgoyne. Board members, are there any questions, comments, or discussion for Mr. Bryant?
Mr. Bryant, thank you. I just want to say thank you to your team that came out at the county board meeting and everything you guys shared for the budget. I apologize that not everything you guys had asked for in this year's budget was able to get through, but we're working on it.
No, we've made steps towards what we're looking for, and we appreciate your support. The dream team is what I call them. They are the dream team. Thank you all.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor of approving the special education annual plan, please say yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes 5-0. We're now moving into information items. I believe, well, you guys are ready to go. Thank you very much. We have Miss Amanda Rickard and Miss Liza Kaufman here tonight to present to us some kindergarten readiness results.
Good evening. Thank you, Chair Hurst, Dr. Shiflett, and members of the board for the opportunity to speak this evening. We are going to present a little bit of information that was collected this fall on our students who are incoming kindergartners. So, Amanda, take it away.
So, the state of Virginia requires that we assess all incoming kindergartners on their Virginia readiness. It is made up of these 5 components that you can see on your screen. The first one is math. And when we assess on math, it is a one-on-one assessment that teachers are doing to every student, and it tests students' incoming understanding of those 4 areas you can see. And we do it twice a year. We do it in the fall, and then we do it again in the spring. And teachers are actually currently working on this right now for the spring. We have our literacy one, which is the vowels component, and I know Kim Tate has been here to talk to you guys about that before, and they do that 3 times a year. And then there's a social self-regulation and social skills component and a well-being component. So now we'll just go into a little bit of the data that we received. And remember, this is before any instruction. This happens about 4 to 6 weeks into the start of the school year. So the state of Virginia has overall readiness meeting expectations for every area. Rockingham kindergartners this year were 50% met all benchmarks, which you'll see is the same as the state. For literacy, our incoming kindergarten met 66% met the benchmark, which again is slightly higher than the state. For math, we met 81% of students met the math benchmark, and that is higher than the state, which is 70-something. I can't see that number from here. Oh, did I go back? Yeah. All right.
For self-regulation, we were lower than the state average, but not by much. The state average is 84% reported, and ours is 82%. It's important to note that while there are more objective assessments for literacy and for math, the self-regulation and social awareness and well-being are teacher-reported impressions. So 6 to 8 weeks into the school year, you may know your class very well, and you may still be getting to know people. So we are just below the state average in teacher-reported self-regulation skills of our incoming kindergartners, and also just under the state average in our teacher-reported social skills of our incoming kindergartners. So the state average is 83, and Rockingham came in at 79% this year. And then the last question, the last score is the overall well-being score. So you can see this is not comparative. There isn't state data to compare for this question, but you can see how by category, how concerned overall were our kindergarten teachers on the well-being of their incoming class in the fall. Do you have any questions?
Board members, do you have any questions for these?
When you say concerned about their well-being, what are we talking about there? Their ability to learn, or they're all of those things together, or their well-being physically, their safety? What are we talking about?
Do you know exactly what the phrase is?
I think it's just a question rating on 1 to 5.
So it's a question, it's just one question to rate, like, how concerned are you about this child's overall well-being? So more of a holistic picture for that particular measure. If you'd like to see the exact question, we could get that for you.
Those seem like pretty subjective questions, which can vary in degree, teacher to teacher, division to division, school to school. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
That would be hard. That would be hard to assess. Board members, do you have other questions?
I guess I do because I have twins that are entering kindergarten. So I just want to make sure. Obviously, I know about the vowels, and I've seen they're in pre-K, so they've done the testing and everything. So we're doing, how many tests are we doing? This feels like a lot.
Yeah, there's the vowels testing, and then the math testing, and then the other part, the behavior part, is just a checklist that teachers do. They don't actually give an assessment to students. They just do observational checklists.
Cool.
Have we thought about comparing this data to, or breaking it down to kids that had pre-K and RCPS, kids that had pre-K not in RCPS, kids that didn't have pre-K? I see you smiling. So you talk now.
So we do have that data. The state provides us with a breakdown of different types of pre-K experience and how it relates, and I can share that with you guys also. I don't have it with me right now, but I can get
Is it as interesting as it sounds like it would be? Were there correlations to be made, or pretty inconclusive?
So I reached out to the state because my question was, where did they get the data from where students are in pre-K? Because as far as I know, we don't collect that as a district when students are registering. So I have not heard back on that, and that's part of the reason I didn't include it, because I don't know where that data is coming from.
Like how do they know who went where? So there's some questions in it.
Well, and preschool can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people in preschool programming. So
yes,
that can vary.
I think that the overall, this helps build a holistic picture of how ready is a child for the academics that come along with kindergarten, right? Because we know that the self-awareness is important, because that's like self-control and inhibition and wait your turn and how well can you attend to those things. And then the social awareness, all of those pieces do matter with what happens in a classroom, as well as their numeracy and literacy skills coming in. But there are still, as with any measure, right, there are some things, some patterns we might find, and some questions it might raise. So it seems to be both right now, in my impression.
Do we have this data for other school years?
We do 2 other years?
Yes.
This seems like something maybe more recent. And the reason why I'm asking is because I know that it's 2025 and COVID was 5 years ago, but it really wasn't 5 years ago, really. And we'll see some effects of this for a good many years, I think. And so I do wonder, you know, the kids that are in kindergarten this year, they maybe would have had daycare preschool experiences that were different than what
we would have expected before COVID? And to what degree is that having an impact on us still that we're just not aware? And I don't want to blame everything on that, because certainly there are a lot of other factors. But as a parent, I can tell you my daughter's daycare preschool experience during 2021, 22, those years was very different than the one my sons had when they were in preschool and daycare. And so, you know, as a parent, I watched some of the things like speech delays, and some of those things, and it just is what it is. But I just wondered if we had more data from previous years, or this is just a recent collection point.
We do have data from previous years, but we did not start VKRP testing until the year we shut down for COVID. That was our first year.
Don't have pre-COVID data.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said we haven't done the end of year results, or we have?
We're currently in the testing window.
So we'll have some results later to just see how our instruction and our interventions have targeted some of these areas and these kiddos to help them along.
Yep.
Okay. Board members, any other questions? Okay, thank you all. And Ms. Ruckert, I think you're here again for information on the secondary math textbook committee.
As you guys might know, that this year we had our standards for mathematics, our 2023 math standards, and the Department of Education has approved finally a list of textbooks that match or align somewhat well with our new standards. So I am putting together a committee to look at this for secondary education. So grades 6 through Algebra 2 specifically is what we are looking at. You can see I have teachers of our secondary schools and a few parents.
Thank you. Board members, just a reminder, this is not an official school board committee. This is a superintendent's committee that he is putting together. This is not going to be up for action. This is for your informational purposes only. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Ruckert.
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like we have two more things in the information items. One is the Finance Department staff report and the financial review for March of 2025, and both of those items are in your packet. And I believe, you know, we could bring Mr. Moyers up here if anybody had any questions, or you can be in touch with him afterwards if you do. We're moving right along tonight, folks. I think the last thing, or the last couple of things we have are superintendent comments and then board member comments. So we'll go to Dr. Shiflett.
So I want to give a big congratulations to Mr. Emmett Shahan and the Spotswood debate team for capturing their second VHSL state debate championship on Saturday. This is a back-to-back championships for the SHS debate team, so I'm very proud of their accomplishments and wanted to give them a shout out this evening. Anyone from the debate team in our audience? All right, congratulations.
Stand up if you are on that debate team. Stand up or raise that hand higher. There we go. Okay, on to board member comments. We'll start with Mr. Cross this evening.
All right. Since you stole Mr. Shahan from me, I appreciate that. That's fine. Congratulations to Spotswood's debate team there. We also have another local legend, and I say that because in 1994, when was the only other time that Spotswood High School won a state championship, would Camden Langridge, would you stand up tonight? The DNR, is anybody else on the basketball team here tonight as well? All right. Camden, the DNR article and Anya with the nosebleed and the stuff shoved up your nostrils was amazing. You look like a Rocky out there battling on the court. And we just appreciate all you've done over the years at Spotswood, the team, you guys will always be remembered. You know, I remember being a kid and seeing Kerry Keys and Jason Jones and Chris Bryant sitting over there. He knows a couple of these guys as well. But the community never forgets them, and the community will never forget you for winning a state championship up there. So congratulations on that. I also had a chance to stop by Peakview Elementary School I think on Friday it was, and I got a chance to stop in the EL class and visit with Rachel Lucas. And she is an amazing EL teacher, and she was sitting there singing to the kids, making them hop like frogs, doing all kinds of different things. But we had learners from just got here, newcomers, to been here for a couple of years in her class, and they varied. And she was just an amazing teacher that I got to sit down and talk with for a while. And so, Ms. Lucas, you did an amazing job, and we're very fortunate to have employees like her working for us in the county, and that's all I have.
Well, I mentioned at the last meeting that I was doing book readings at different elementary schools. So I totaled it up. I read to 478 kindergarten and first graders, which it was a blast. And I had fun in all those classrooms. And I didn't realize how many kids I knew at John Wayland, but I have so many friends there. I felt like a celebrity. I'm probably going to steal this from someone, but we did our Character Counts Awards and hosted it here at TA, and that was really just an awesome event with parents, family members. Mrs. Hurst had the idea to pull it out of our board meeting to really make it a special event for families and to really focus on those kids with those Character Counts Awards. And I saw on Facebook one little girl 8th grade year and then again got it her senior year, which I thought was really, really cool. So it was nice to see that she stayed on that path and was recognized by 2 different schools. But yeah, I really love the event. I'm looking forward to it in the future, so thank you.
Ms. Laura? Thank you. First, I want to thank Turner Ashby for being our host tonight. This has been lovely. I always love coming back to my alma mater. And I want to give you guys a plug. I believe you're having a theater presentation this weekend, Echoes in the Halls. And this is a very special presentation as it was written by a former teacher who tragically passed away. So I encourage everyone to come out to see it this weekend. And please come out to see it because I think I'm going to miss it because I have to be out of town for a funeral. But thank you guys for hosting us and break a leg with that this weekend. I think we also have some students here tonight, do we not? Raise your hand if you're a student. I'm not going to make you do anything. I'm just going to say hi, wave back. It's so great to see you guys. I think a lot of you guys are from Spotswood, right? Do we have anybody that's a student that's not from Spotswood tonight? Wow. But yay, Spotswood, for being here tonight. It always brings me great pleasure to see our students. And I might make it through this because this is the first year I don't have students in schools, and I went to a farm to school day last week and just about didn't make it through because it was the first time I didn't have my children there. But you know what? Life goes on, and you guys do amazing things. And the kids this year, I mean, I've been involved in farm to school days with Broadway High School for 15 years. And this year they added a hayride. And I was like, why didn't we do that before? That's so awesome. So it's great to see things continuing and being great and seeing the amazing things that the next kids can do. I think we're always building on what we've learned. And I've gone on to do bigger and better things. I'm helping with Ag Science Fair, and I get to come here to TA to help with that, and I get to go to Montevideo. And so I've gotten to go to schools that are not necessarily in my district and spend some time outside of my box, and it's been great. But just wanted to share those highlights and thank the students for being here tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Laura. Ms. Cave?
I was really excited tonight to see the students here too, because it's something that I've been missing. So I would just I don't know what the occasion was that we got you all here, but I would still encourage, the teachers in the schools to get the teacher, some teacher, some great teacher, to get your students here, because it is it's a great lesson on local government and how we operate. So I'm just really excited and honored really to have you guys here, so thank you. I finally had some time over the last couple weeks to get into some classrooms, some of which I've been trying to get for about a year, and our schedules are so ridiculous. So I got in on a really well-planned lesson about supply and demand, and I enjoy that type of thing. So anyway, so that was a good time. I got to help on some of the cafeterias, and I was able to attend the McAxville Elementary Talent Show, which was just excellent a few weeks ago. So we really do have talent in Rockingham. So it's been busy, and we're getting ready to wrap up the year here in the next month and a half or so. And I know you students are excited about graduation, and we are too. But anyways, I think that's all I have for tonight. So thank you. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, Ms. Cave. Tonight, just by sharing, I realize we're entering into the busy season of school board, as we were shared with last year that May is a busy, busy month. We've got a lot of end-of-the-year trips, a lot of activities, exciting things. There's SOL testing. There's all kinds of things going on. I do want to share, we're in and out of schools a lot. We're volunteering. One of my very favorite things to do is to go into schools to read, to help you out with ag fairs or whatever it is that you're doing. So I encourage teachers, if you Ashley has been, or Ms. Burgoyne has been volunteering me, but she does it with love, and I will definitely accept. So if you need help with something in your classroom, if you need a guest reader, definitely reach out to me. This is to the teachers and principals. I had a lovely request today from my child's teacher. They're going to King's Dominion on Friday, and I hadn't signed up to chaperone, but then I got this lovely request that, Rockingham County offers top-of-the-line transportation on the Rockingham County school bus, and more entertainment than I could imagine, as well as perfect weather for Friday. Would I be interested in chaperoning, and how could I refuse such an offer? And so I'll be chaperoning a field trip to King's Dominion with the music department at Pence on Friday, but I was just tickled by the description of this illustrious field trip. But I do love field trips. If you ever need a chaperone, you can call, you can email. Anyway, thank you all for coming out tonight. I don't think we have anything else other than this board does need to return to a closed session. So board members, if you have that motion up in front of you, I would like to hear it.
I move the board enter into closed meeting under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1 for the purpose of discussing and considering personnel matters, including assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salary, disciplining, or resignation of specific employees. The subject matter is board action pertaining to specific employees.
Thank you, Ms. Lord. Do I have a second? I don't know who that was. That was a tie. So, Ms. Burgoyne, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes. All those opposed say no. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Drive safely. We're now in closed session.